What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Virgin Galactic, ticker is SPCE. I want to give you a good breakdown of the data points, the technicals, earnings came out, and as well CPI. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So today was one very volatile day. Had a low of 371. It is on a little bit more of a kind of rally right now, up 2%. It did have a high of $4.29. Unfortunately, it did bounce off of this very big support or resistance, I guess I should call it, R2 at $4.26. So it is on a little bit more of a consolidation. Most likely it will try again at this resistance point later today, but currently stochastic is at 72, so arguably considered a little bit more overbought potentially. So it does need to cool down a little bit and pull back. But like I said, if it does get over this $4.26 mark, then you can anticipate it trading between this R2 and the R3. So maybe $4.68, because their earnings did come out very optimistic, very bullish tone from both the CEO and CFO. So I think generally speaking, that is a fairly good indication that most likely things are going up, because the positiveness of that, their cash that they had on hand that I'll touch on in a second, I think those were some of the more positive things. But despite that though, analysts don't seem to like it. So you do see Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, and Bank of America did give ratings, and all of which were not positive. So it kind of does suck in that regard. But no matter what though, I do believe that some Virgin is going to do a lot of good things in the future, and they did reconfirm a lot of things on their earnings as well. But starting off though with CPI. So CPI was very positive as well. So it did show once again another report that in fact it is going down. And more specifically, if you look at the true data more on the month over month, it does show energy went up 0.6%. So that does mean if you just do the basic math, the other basket items were in fact going down. So definitely this is one very true, very positive CPI data. So of course, that's just my own interpretation of that. You guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. As far as shorts, I'll give you guys a good overview. They are increasing 367,000 shares. So despite the positive CPI and the earnings, definitely they're very hesitant about that. 23.3% of the free float's being shorted, and that works out to be 53.61 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow is kind of flat at 4%, but I think generally speaking right now, a lot of people are just very much watching these very big pivot points right here. So like I said, $4.26, and it looks like right now it is attempting that once again. But as far as current updates, as far as options today, so $1.78 million in call premiums. So of course that means that there is a huge upside is anticipated, and there is only $146,000 in put premiums being purchased. So very optimistic right now behind the scenes. So definitely I think that has it going for it, despite the shorts increasing their position. So they're trying to suppress something where they might as well be very much losing. But the earnings came out, like I said, a very positive tone coming from both the CEO and CFO. They did reconfirm a late target of June for the first commercial flight of the Galactic 1. So I think that usually is a fairly good catalyst that would result in the price going up in theory. And one other thing, obviously there's a ton of things that I can easily cover from the earnings. The biggest takeaway that I cared about is, for instance, the cash. And they did say that as of March 31st, 2023, they had $874 million in cash and cash equivalents. And that is sufficient for maybe about 2.5, maybe 3/4. That is huge. And of course, I think this is one of the justifications why it did go down as much as it did, because a lot of people just overreacted their cash and their overall health because of orbit and things like that. But with $874 million, that is very good. My own opinion, of course. And there was this on a side note that was posted on Reddit that I just wanted to briefly cover as far as the Delta class and so forth. So it does look like between 50 to 60 million is what the cost is for each Delta ship. And each flight will result in $2.7 million in revenue, 400,000 variable operating expenses per flight. And so that is around a 6-month payback. That is very good results in my opinion. And as well, so let me know you guys' thoughts. Like I said, I'm not going in the earnings in depth in general, but what stood out to you? Was there any things that potentially I am missing? Unfortunately, I did have the Rivian earnings yesterday, so I didn't really listen to this earnings. I'll probably listen to it later today. but I think just the general concept of what I've been reading about, a lot of people were saying that obviously there was a lot of bullishness, and I think that in combination with the cash is more than enough justification for it to go up. My own obviously thoughts on that. Over and above that though, as far as big money getting in, so you can see some big transactions. So you can see the bid, the ask, and the price it was sold for. There was 3 big ones today. So 158,000, 152, and 116, and the last being on the 8th. And prior to that though, you can see that big money has not been getting in. So clearly there was a little bit more of an anticipation for their earnings. So let me know you guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of, for instance, the CPI data? Shorts, do you think there is going to be a short squeeze with Virgin Galactic by chance? Or do you think it's just going to just continue what it does? On a side note as well, like I mentioned about big money getting in, these are the latest round of 13Fs, which shows what institutions did in Q1. So you can see kind of things are flat, nothing really abnormal. Over the next couple of days and early next week, that is where a lot of the big players such as BlackRock, Vanguard are going to be disclosing their positions, for instance, in a lot of these growth stocks. So it'll be very, very interesting to see exactly what they do. But with all of that said, let me know you guys' thoughts on Virgin and what you've been doing. Have you been buying, selling, holding? Where do you personally see things going? Because based on, for instance, this Reddit post right here, they are forecasting between $15 to $100 for the price. $100 might be a little bit steep, but $15 could be very realistic, because I started to really, I think my original price when I did buy in was around $10. So the fact that, for instance, even if you go over here, I do believe that the Morningstar report, what it does show is, and the latest one that it does show, kind of puts it as a fair market value being $7.94. So that might be realistic, might not be. I'll leave it to you guys to make that determination on that. So if you guys haven't already, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. But one final thing I just wanted to share with you, if you guys want some free things, take advantage of this promo with Moomoo, link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for the free account and you get 1 free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So a complete no-brainer. Link in the description below and also the comments, like I said. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Virgin Galactic.